Hey everybody! Welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name's Acacia. Today I'm doing a book haul for February part 1. It's a little less than usual, actually. Not too bad. But let's dive in. First, we have Girls on Fire by Robin Wasserman. And now this one I picked up on a recommendation from one of the store owners of one of my independent bookstores here in the Maine area. This is a story of two young girls and the power of women when they are put into potentially dangerous situations and what they actually have inside that is such a fiery just drive. It's written in a really interesting way, almost like gritty poetry. It's really beautiful, really well executed, and so far I'm really enjoying it. And then I picked up this. This is Roots. It's by Alex Haley. So this is a family saga, and I know very little about the plot of the family saga. I've only gotten to chapter 25 so far, and we're reading it, Amanda Center and I, as a buddy read, and I think we're going 8 chapters a day. It's really easy to read and really easy to digest. Then I picked up Sinclair Lewis, It Can't Happen Here. For those of you who don't know, this is a book that was written during the Great Depression to explain what would happen if a dictatorship actually began to rule over the American people and the tyranny and the how was it they put it? The chilling realistic rise of a president who becomes a dictator to save the nation from welfare cheats, rampant promiscuity, crime, and liberal press. That's all I'm going to say. And then I have Whatever Happened to Interracial Love, and this is Stories by Kathleen Collins. Now, I was unsure if I was going to pick this up, but then I heard somebody say that it was a book that everybody needed to pick up and read, and I couldn't say no to that because I very much trust that person's opinion. And so I picked it up, and I haven't started it yet, but I think this will be a good book to add to my TBR for Black History Month. Also, from the same person, I saw this, Mr. Simon from Savage Reads. This is, I want to say, how do I pronounce her name? Because I don't want to get it wrong. This is a very well-loved, used copy. It's actually a little discolored, which makes me kind of sad. But Tay Selassie. Okay, and it's Ghana Must Go, and he said that he liked this better than Americana. I myself just finished Americana, so I'm very, very curious about whether or not I will like this better or not, and it's far shorter than Americana, so, and the font is actually relatively large. So we shall see how I feel about this. I'm very excited, but the cover... so pretty. And then this was a Sophie from Portal and the Pages recommendation. This is Heartbreaker Stories by Maurice Magier. So this is a short story collection that I've just heard amazing things about from Sophie, and I am very curious to dive into it. I don't think I'm gonna dive in immediately, but I'm glad to have it on my shelf. It looks like very weird, obscure characters with some really dark undertones, and I love that. Then this is a Books and Pieces, or Elizabeth from Books and Pieces recommendation. She says this is one of her favorites, and it was one of the ones that changed her opinions and the way she thought. This is Ursula K. Le Guin and The Left Hand of Darkness. This talks about gender and the experience of, I believe, a human race trying to take over or trying to work with a society that doesn't recognize gender and the experience between the two. I am very, very excited to read this. I think I will hold off because it doesn't really classify for my Black History Month, but you never know. I may still want it. It's been kind of staring me in the face recently. And then we have Mad or Bad, Crime and Insanity in the Victorian Britain by David J. Vaughan. And this was sent to me for review by Pen and Sword Press, or Publishing. Pen and Sword Publishing. So, I am very excited about this. Now, it's super nonfiction-y. It's basically facts and just ideas and definitions and quotes. I'm very, very curious. I'm very, very excited, and I am dipping in and out of it so far. And it's been very interesting and quite intense. So like part 1 is Who's Who's, parts 2, The Insanity Conditions, part 3, History of Debate, part 4, Mad Women, Bad Women, and then part 5 is Case Histories. And it just goes through all of the case studies. And I am really excited about this. So I requested that for review and was granted access, which I was so excited about. Then one of you guys recommended this to me when I talked about how I am interested in learning more about the history of Russia. The Diary of Vaslav Nijinsky by Joan Akola. And this is, if I'm correct, it talks about a man who was a dancer in the ballet, and he was a very well-loved dancer, and he ends up getting into some insane thought processes. So he goes a little crazy. It looks really interesting. I'm very excited to dive into this because I think it's a nonfiction, which makes me very happy. There's some photographs, which is great. So this will be something that I read soon. I just don't know when I'll get to it, but I'm stoked. Hannah Tay and I will be doing a buddy read. This is The Testament of Mary by Colm Tolban, and I believe this is just a little story, short story-ish novella, talking about the life of Mary, as in Jesus' mother. So I'm interested to read that. And then Miss Kelly Reads. So Kelly from Kelly Reads. I saw this on her channel and automatically I was just drawn into it personally because of the cover. And then she explained that it was spanning over the years of World War II through Vietnam era, the breaking landscape of American Southwest. The triumphant debut tells a story of a gifted Marion Wells and the late blooming heroine awakened to the women's movement who discovers that she offers what she offers amid a world laden with waste and ravages of men. I am really curious about this. I would actually be very interested to read this in a buddy read format because I think it talks a lot about romance and love, and I don't always enjoy that, but for some reason this one spoke to me in a way where I was like, I would enjoy that. And then a Book Olive recommended this. I really just picked up a lot of recommendations. This is Goddess by Kelly Gardner, and she says that she enjoys this more than Queen of the Night, which Queen of the Night was written by a man who was raised in Maine, so I do own it because gotta support your local authors. But oh, this I believe is based around a young girl who is a fencing expert slash woman in waiting slash in love with a nun slash just wild and crazy character. There is some LGBTQ themes. It talks about the experience of one woman and being loved by both genders as an opera singer. It's going to just be really interesting. I'm very excited to dive into this. And I really have enjoyed the writing style so far. I just haven't sat down and been able to dive into it as much as I would like. I've gotten up to here, which is page 77. The chapters are short. It's easy to read. It's just, I keep thinking that there's other things that I should be reading because I feel obligated, but what you gonna do? Alright, so that has been my February part 1 book haul. I will see you guys in my next video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!